Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. I've got the usual gaggle of good-looking men tonight. I'm gonna give a hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, check out your mama's favorites on Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, and Country Air Brand on Twitter. And I'll pass it out to the senior official.
Hey guys, referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, pound sign for the ref brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Waffles. Perch, how was your breakfast hunt?
Breakfast hunt was not too great. However, we did get a little Max Diner on the Saturday. So it was pretty good. Yeah, Max Diner, Max Restaurant in Chicago. Nice bacon, egg, and cheese on an English muffin and a pancake on the side. They do the best pancake on the side, I must say. It's a jumbo pancake, takes up the whole plate. Definitely a good substitute for a waffle, but doesn't quite hit like a waffle. Then the next morning, had a little Tim Hortons. A couple weeks in a row with Tim Hortons. I'm starting to get used to it, and I love it. Good bacon, egg, and cheese on a biscuit with a biscuit on the side and a coffee. Big fan.
Zach, I know Saturday we were in Indiana, and I mean it's not breakfast, but it was our first meal of the day. Zach took me to a little taqueria around the corner from his house, and those were pretty good.
Yeah, I was in Indiana all last week watching dog sitting for my parents while they were on vacation. So my cousin told me about this little spot. It was a Mexican or like Hispanic like grocery store, and then like in the back they have like a taco stand. Like they like have a tacos. And like when we walk in, he like opens the door with a purpose and marches down the aisle to order his tacos. But yeah, those tacos are pretty good. So Dre usually introduces me to a lot of good food. So it was good to be able to do one for him.
Yeah, I was very satisfied. The chicken one was very good. The chicken one was very good. Sunday I had a sausage and egg bagel. Homemade. That's the go-to right here in the Simmons household. What about you, Zach? Did you have anything for Sunday since you were home?
Sunday, nope. Woke up super early, got back to Wisconsin. Oh, I guess like the only thing I ate that day, Val got Mr. D's Pizza. If you're not familiar with it and you're listening to this podcast and you're going to ICW Friday, it's the pizza shop right next door.
Oh, okay. I thought that sounded familiar. I have yet to go there.
Bro, like yeah, it's fire. Like the sauce on the pizza is really good. But yeah, like Val got a pizza and that's what we ate. But like I passed out super quick yesterday. I remember like watching a couple of new episodes I haven't seen yet that I waited for Val and then passing out immediately.
No, yeah. I ended up sleeping in for the time I got home, and I did not get to take a midday nap. But yeah, it was a long day Saturday. But I did have some breakfast foods today, but the Perkins had some waffles that were very delicious. That's up there. With Kay Dizzle, and she had some pancakes that she really enjoyed, it seemed. But what I think she would enjoy more and what I would enjoy the most is that banger of the week, Perch. What do you got?
This week's banger of the week, going back to a classic and a favorite, and it's been a while since we've had them on the banger of the list playlist. This week is The Killers, Runaways. That's an absolute banger, going back to when the CD came out, Battleborn. Remember hearing Runaways on the radio and would run to the radio to turn it up as loud as I could. One of my favorites of all time. Definitely a banger that holds up, and it's about 10 years old. I think it's celebrating maybe a 10-year anniversary. Hard to believe.
Like, let's not talk about age and time on this podcast. We're timeless.
And
Time.
that was the new Killers CD at the time. To me, that's still the new one. Um, so yeah, that's a classic. Runaways, Killers. If you haven't listened to it, definitely put it on the playlist for the week because that's the banger.
Nice. All right. Why don't we jump right into it, fellas, and talk about what have we been watching this week? You know what? I'll kick it back to you, Perch.
Yeah, this week's been some good wrestling. Really enjoyed Top Flight going up for those tag team championships. It was a hell of a match. Really good all the way around. And shenanigans happened at the end, of course, and makes you hungry to see Darius and Dante win those titles even more.
That dirty, the kingdom.
Yeah. Enjoyed Hook against Stokely. That was wonderful. A classic manager getting his butt kicked. It really wanted to see it happen eventually, and sure enough, it did. It did not disappoint. Through the guardrail, I really like that. The table was used later in the night, so I like that they put a guardrail right on top.
Yeah, just surprise guardrail underneath the ring. Because hey, you never know, you might need another one at a show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. And then Kenny against El Hijo de Vikingo. Incredible match. See Vikingo a few times live and incredible performer. To see him on TV and do what he did, and to see Kenny be as good of a bass as he is, and they told one hell of a story. I really enjoyed, as many of us did. Yeah, it was incredible. I really loved it. And then Hobbs against Penta had a good match on that Saturday Rampage. I really enjoyed that one too.
I mean, it's going from Vikingo and his amazing body control on that monkey flip to Penta, the amazing body control on the double stop on the apron. It's also probably should get more credit than it's getting.
Yeah, just incredible. What he pulled off in that match was wild. And then Hobbs didn't need to do what he did at the end, which makes it all the more intriguing of a pro wrestling match. Yeah, I really enjoyed good wrestling this week.
Zach, what have you watched this week?
Being at my parents' place, I also got to watch AEW Dynamite for like the first time in a long time. Agreed. I enjoyed watching Dante and Darius tear it up. The Kingdom stealing the match from them. Makes you look forward to the Reach for the Sky ladder match. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised there wasn't a lot of shenanigans in that Hook match where they said no DQ. I thought for sure the firm might get involved.
But it feels like Matt Hardy is playing the long con, the super long con, though, with the firm.
Yeah, definitely. Like Matt Hardy's like acting like he's cool. He's corrupting the firm from inside.
Yeah,
but
which I do enjoy.
Oh yeah,
The new different take on classic sleazy Matt Hardy that we get from time to time.
You know, I mean, they'll kind of go into the subject later, I would assume. But like Matt Hardy's always good about like staying relevant and doing things that like you're like, oh, what's Matt up to? Or
no, yeah, I think we give a lot of credit to Chris Jericho for like changing himself all the time and staying like at such a high level, but Matt Hardy does it as well.
Yeah. What else did I watch? I'm pretty sure I watched. Yeah, I watched SmackDown. Um, Ray finally giving it to Dominic.
Yeah.
Like Ray finally doing it. No one was mad. No
Put
one
the
thought he
paws
was.
on him.
You tell mom to shut up. It's all done. You don't talk to mamas like that. I loved it all. Like I'm looking for like WrestleMania. Like definitely looking forward to it. I'm excited for Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Like, you want big men slapping meat? Like, you could
Yeah,
ask
that's gonna
for
be a good one.
Ray versus
Dominic will be
Dom.
satisfying.
Oh, and then like John Cena, it was announced that John Cena is match one of the whole show.
Yeah.
I
Um,
just,
because I've never been the hugest Austin Theory fan, but John Cena does bring out that excitement from me right now.
yes, sir. So and then the Cody Rhodes just doing Cody Rhodes things is pretty, just amazing.
The disrespect to Solo, I shall not stand for.
He's not ready.
He is so ready. Shall not stand for that disrespect. Solo is a top tier bloodline member.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Watch Raw tonight. Tune in tonight.
Yeah, we'll see
Other
how
than
that goes.
that, I watched our match that we had against the Bang Bros. Was fairly satisfied with that. Um, and kind of chilled. Watched some other shows. Caught up on some. I watched a movie called 65. Pretty dope.
Yep. Told me about that.
But yeah,
Myself, I didn't watch all of Rampage, but I had to watch the Taya and Jade Cargill segment because Jade Cargill is probably my favorite rookie right now. As far as just like me and Stacy talked about it. I like to watch people get better, and Jade Cargill's growth over the 50 some odd matches has been very fun to watch. And I guess we're big fans of Taya in the Madison household. I got scolded on that.
It's not the Simmons household.
We're big fans of Taya in the Madison household. And I always enjoy a good finisher story. So those two using the same finisher, Mark Sterling coming in with the cease and desist and catching a road to Valhalla. That's pump that into my bloodstream. I have been slowly but surely watching the 2004 Ted Petty Invitational IWA Mid South. Caught a couple more matches this week. First round Chris Sabin match. I can't remember his opponent's name, but stealing a bunch of stuff from them. The last match I watched was Quackenbush versus Chris Hero, where I definitely recommend Zach you watch that because I think we'll probably steal a lot from that.
what match?
Chris Hero versus Mike Quackenbush from the 2004 TPI.
All right.
And what has been a tickle in the belly for me is seeing the fans actually in this 2004 TPI and seeing not even the wrestlers and seeing how far they've come, but the referees. Got good old Bryce Rimsberg in there as top referee. Baggy pants, no muscle. Bryce Rimsberg as one of the referees in there. And if you look around the crowd, you definitely see fans that nowadays give us support. So it's fun to see, or maybe it's humbling to see, those guys who go so crazy for, those top tier talents that we look at now, your AJ Styles, your Christopher Daniels, your Eric Cannons, your young Nate Webb. Wow. Almost 20 years ago, obviously, yeah, but like, Nate Webb is a child 20 years ago in the TPI. But seeing fans go so crazy for them, and then now, like, for them to support all of us in the same way is very humbling. But yeah, I also watched Dynamite. Loosely watching Raw tonight. Enjoyed Ali versus Rollins. also rewatch the our Bang Bros match only because now it finally downloaded to my phone in a clean way instead of me having to screenshot it and having that weird upside down because I moved my phone once. So rewatch that. But yeah, good week of wrestling. Good. Oh, I didn't speak of it. It's got to be spoken of. Vikingo, and Kenny Omega. Very good. For those who knew who Vikingo was before this, and everybody saying who is he, we feel super, super validated right now. Homie is amazing, but we'll get probably a little more to that a little bit later. And for now, why don't we move on to what we did this weekend? Zach, our weekend was kind of eventful.
Oh, weekend was a lot eventful. Friday night we went to AAW. Do what you do best. Show up, help out where you can. I know Doc
Get
showed
beat
up
up
around.
by Sierra and Christy James.
Oh yeah, don't forget that we got beat up by Sierra and Christy James. Hold on. Sorry, damn sneeze just come out of nowhere. No, but AAW watched the show. It was awesome watching Robert Anthony's return. But I know that'll get touched on later. Just to see a lot of homies getting opportunities. Axel Rico's return to the main show, not his debut to the main show. Axel,
Good job, Zach.
I know you're one of the 10s to 20s listening. I don't want to
Big
disrespect.
Axel Rico fan.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed Axel in that match, but
Yeah,
yeah, and,
he did. He showed out actually. Very, very smart.
yeah, and then after that, went back to the old Sandifer household. Not Sandifer, Hendricks Papa. Okay, let's erase that. Not kidding. But went to my parents' household, crashed out, and then woke up and we made our drive to Ohio. Tell them how that went.
Not great. So not great that we drove back to Indiana.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the promotion, but for guys listening, we were taught by our coaches, Frankie DeFalco and the Beer City Bruisers, like we always go help set up, help tear down, pay our dues, try to earn opportunities where we can. But when you're trying to earn an opportunity for a company, at the same time, you're also seeing how that company is yourself, and it just wasn't a welcoming feeling, and just wasn't a we talked to a few guys we knew, a few of the vets, telling them how we were feeling while we were there, took their advice, and just kind of made our way home.
Yep. But on our way home, shout out to Smooth Rents. This is a BD Smooth supportive podcast.
BD,
Um
remember us?
yep. But shout out to them. They gave us a lowdown on where we could get some work in, and we showed up to Pro Wrestling King for another tag title match.
Yes, sir. So for those who don't know, wrestling is sometimes funny in the way where you drive 4 hours to a show, leave, drive 4 hours home to realize you could have only drove 16 minutes to a show, and then not only do the show, but yeah, wrestle two great tag teams, two tag teams we've wrestled in the past, and have an opportunity to win the Pro Wrestling Key Tag Team Championships.
Yep. It was us versus the Asylum versus the Pro Dads.
Unfortunately, yeah, we hit Air Buddies, and like we had there was a couple times I thought we had the 3 count, but one time the referee was knocked down, and the other time
No,
humble,
the referee was murdered. The referee was murdered.
I don't know, I got out of the way.
Smart move. That referee died.
That kick was coming for me, so I had to move. So luckily he was murdered and not me.
Yeah, that was a rough one. But unfortunately, that led to us not winning these tag titles.
It was close to, definitely like we won tag team of the year for BWK last year. We were very close to the tag titles. So I mean, BWK, You guys are inside. It's like we're very close.
Yep.
We
Getting
don't slip
back
a
to-
lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll find our way back to gold there. Perch, how was your weekend?
Yeah, this was a fun weekend. Started it off Friday night at AAW. It was a really good time. You guys were there. Ua Ming was there. We traveled together for the road trip. Had a first match with Joey Jet Avalon and Trevor Outlaw against Chico and Victor Ernestra. Good to be in there with Joey Jet. Represent. I wish I could have got the Sierra match. It would have been a sweep of all the Wisconsin homies. Next match I had was Eric against Shane Hollister. Good match. Hollister brings it. A nice brainbuster knee combo for a finish. Then the main card started. Those were for Alive, and I love the AAW Alive shows. And then the main show started. First match I had was Tag Team Championships. The champions Kelvin Tankman and John C. defending against Dante Leon and Arez. Always a treat to get an Arez match and Dante, as well as Kelvin and Ja. Those are four really cool individuals. I really enjoy working with them all together. So to have a tag with everybody, those are a lot of different styles all in one match. Very fun. Anytime you get Arez, he does something that I've never seen before. The next match I had was a four-way.
Actually, yeah, that's what I might have to rewatch because I think I'm steal some stuff from him in that match.
Yeah,
He brought back the stalling knee on the ground. That is like the first thing I ever saw of him like a couple years ago was that knee strike.
yeah, gotta love him. The next match I had was a number one contenders match, four-way between Silas Young, Ren Jones, Fred Yehai, and Manders. Wild match. At the end of the match, Fred Yehai was inches away from taking me out,
Yeah.
but Manders pulled me out, and I was saved. You never know what's going to happen in pro wrestling. Always have to be ready. And yeah, it's for real. The next match I had was Hartenbauer against Hartenbauer and Davey Vega against Mike Bennett and Levi. Great match. It was a double dog collar match. So 2 dog collars amongst them. Lots of blood, lots of weapons, barbed wire, bat, thumbtacks. It was like all the cool McFoley and Triple H matches all put into one with some dog collars and tag teams. It was a war zone. Yeah, incredible night. And the final match of the night was Robert Ego Anthony against Jake Something for the heavyweight title. And one thing led to another, and I don't know how it ended.
Yeah.
But I woke up the next morning.
the first rough murder of our weekend.
One thing led to another, and I woke up the next morning, and it was time for Warrior Wrestling.
Yeah. You took a rough one, brother.
And who's someone who I greet at the door of Warrior Wrestling the next day? Jake Something.
All right.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
How'd that go for you?
Am I in heaven? It was wonderful. It's funny how those moments work, but a good dude all around. And yeah, the next day we had Warrior Wrestling, and that was a fun time in Grand Rapids, Michigan. First match I had, and that one was on YouTube. First match I had was Max against Warhorse. Those two brought it, hard hitting the entire time. Max is a beast, and Warhorse is great, but Max really brought it that day. Next match I had was Jordan Cross against Beastman. Jordan Cross ended up picking up victory out of nowhere. Wild. And then the following match I had was Arles going up against El Hijo del Vikingo for the Warrior Wrestling Lucha Championship. That was an incredible match, grand pageantry. And about a quarter of the way in, the music hits and Gringo Loco comes out. And he cashes in his Warrior medallion and makes it a triple threat. So I got to holler "Suena la campana" a second time, and they rang the bell a second time, and we started over as a triple threat match. Incredible, very fun. Gringo Loco comes out the victor. Yeah, very, very cool match. Good intensity the entire time. Very fun weekend.
Nice. All right. And now, we've hinted towards it, but let's get into the topic for tonight. I asked the homies, who is your favorite storyteller in wrestling right now? There were some words spoken about how Dynamite how AEW handled the build to Vikingo versus Kenny last week, and that it was probably could have been a story told better. I do think I enjoyed the story that was told. I saw a story. I'm a big fan of Chekhov's gun. Bring the table out early in Act 1. Use the table in Act 3. Story of finishers. Kingo, king of Rana's out of nowhere, and Kenny Omega's finisher. 1 Winged Angel comes kind of out of a Rana position, or he can easily get you into it from a Rana position. I'm a big fan of that simple type of storytelling. So I asked fellas, who is your favorite storyteller right now in wrestling? Zach, why don't we start with you?
I think I'm gonna go with Rey Mysterio right now. I believe there's quite a few. After everyone else goes, I'll say some others in my opinions, but I don't want to be the guy who like names everyone. But out of all of them, I would say Rey Mysterio. I mean, you look at Rey Mysterio's career; he's definitely a sure Hall of Famer. He's always been able to tell great stories. He's always been able to go watch his match against LA Knight. He hit that middle rope springboard crossbody. It's just so smooth, and everything he does, he's just great. And he's always good about, you talk about other guys reinventing himself, and like, yeah, Rey Mysterio's never been a heel, but he's never had to be a heel.
Yeah, he's never had to reinvent himself. It's been good from the get-go.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's like the guy who like you can't say like you've never been bored watching a Rey Mysterio match. He's always been like on point. There's never been like he needs something different right now. Like he needs to like amp up his energy. He's always just been a guy that's always like super entertaining to watch. Everyone like had that feeling that Ray was going to wrestle Dominic at WrestleMania, and I was on that story of like, what does it take to finally get Rey Mysterio to snap? And it's as simple as just being a great man and you don't fucking disrespect my woman.
Yeah. It was very good. Super satisfied. Super pumped for that match now.
I was listening to a podcast when we did our 4-hour drive down, and they put over like on how when they replayed the punch, how commentary didn't talk at all. And like when I watched SmackDown back and watched that replay, I was like, man, it was perfect. Like because
you don't expect that from Ray.
You don't, yeah, and commentary doesn't need to tell a story. The story's right there. Arguably like the most looked forward match that doesn't have a title or anything in it. Just a match. I think it's definitely in everyone's top three. Looking forward to Match of Mania, in my opinion. And that's just because Ray's good at what he does.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah. Yeah, the Ray and Dominic story has been super good. And very consistent. I've This has definitely been my favorite Dominic. Him just being an entitled asshole. He definitely works better that way for me. Perch.
Yeah, good question. Pro wrestling is good storytelling. I really enjoy storytelling that's being done. Paul Heyman, Roman, the whole crew. Just grade A long-term storytelling. I really enjoy the way Chris Jericho can tell a story, and he can make anything entertaining or evil or good or bad. And he can make it last a long time. I like the Sonata storytelling that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Very intrigued to start in on this book, this chapter, this episode here. Really love it. And someone who I really enjoy their in-ring storytelling, especially as of recent. I've taken note, and I really enjoy watching his matches anytime I can. Is Jordan Oliver, very good in-ring storyteller. Uh, with He's got a game plan. He knows who he is going into the match, and you get to see how it plays out every time. There's thought into what goes on, and he works for what he gets and makes the audience kind of work for it as well. So in-ring storytelling, really like Jordan Oliver as far as independent wrestlers go. On the independents, we don't always get as grand of stories as they can tell on TV because it's different products, different elements, different intrigues that brings fans in. I do like when there's good independent storylines going on, and they come around. And the Charles Mason against Allie and Effie is pretty evil, deep rooted, and
The
a
very
long.
American Psycho, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and Blake Christian being a bad guy,
He's just a jerk.
big old meanie. Wrestling is fun no matter what, but when there's differences to be settled, wrestling is even more fun. When there's bad guys, when there's evil, like watching Batman. I love Batman, the animated series I'm watching. But what makes it is good bad guys, and the more evil, the better. The crazier, the better. Um,
The more sympathetic, the better.
yeah, sympathetic. When there's emotions in the bad guys, that really makes it. So, um, really like to see it, and there's good storytelling all around. Um, yeah, love it.
Nice. For me, Zach's answer almost made me change my answer to Malachi Black. Um Malachi got his eye taken out in WWE years ago, and he still wears the scars of it today in AEW. That has been a consistent thing. The Black Mist has been a consistent thing. He has stuck to this and he has pushed it. It's not always at the forefront, but I'm a big Malachi Black, Tommy Inn fan, Aleister Black. So him staying with this has been very fun and a very good like underlining thing in everything that they've done. But for me, right now it's got to be Bryan Danielson. In ring, I think he tells probably the best story. I mean, I do think for some I've said it plenty of times on here. My favorite is just a simple finisher story. A story about finishers, about that knockout blow and the way Danielson dissects body parts to get to the submission that he wants. is always a fun watch. And then even when it wasn't about what submission, when it was about I'm just a better wrestler than all of you, and I can end all my matches with different submissions. That was super fun. Zach brought it up with Ray. It doesn't have to change if you're that good at it, and no matter what, whether he's the guy trying to save the earth with the biodegradable championship, or just be the asshole that's better than you. Once that bell rings, Danielson's storytelling there has always been consistent. And I've really enjoyed that. I've always been a bell to bell guy, and I think right now in ring, there's a lot of good ones out there. I don't care that people say that Kenny isn't. Those who don't think that Kenny is good, I think Kenny is great. Was there a drop when it wasn't Okada as his opponent? Sure, but then that just highlighted then how good Okada was as an in-ring storyteller. So that just made me like Okada more. But if we're going bell to bell right now, I think it's got to be Danielson. And enough with showering the praise on wrestlers that we probably loved from our childhood, except for Perch, who's had a more varied. But lest I forget, Matt said it was JP. JP is the best in-ring story, is the best storyteller in wrestling right now. So there's another indie look. But why don't we move
Also,
on?
we got. Let's say honorable mentions would be like Cody and Roman and Sammy.
Yep, Cody, Roman, Sammy. I mean, it starts off a little earlier. Stokely Hathaway. It's. I feel there aren't a lot of good, annoying managers right now that you actually want to see get beat up. But Stokely Hathaway does it every time. Mark Sterling is another one that does it very well. I mean, if we're talking about refs that tell stories, Bryce Remsburg last week in that match was very good. Aubrey Edwards has done well consistently. That she is not the ref to fuck with. So there's a lot of good storytelling out there. Just got to look for it. But why don't we talk about what we got coming up this weekend? Zach, full weekend of home games.
Yes, sir. We start off going to the bar. Triple threat tag match. Got a warm up last weekend. But this time we're taking on two more familiar foes, Mar Jackson, Killer Instinct, and we're coming for that three-peat. We haven't won that. We've first time ICW tag champs, phenomenal, held them forever. Second time wasn't so great. Want a little bit of redemption there. So yeah, we're coming in swinging. Looking to come out the new ICW tag team champions.
That's Evil Inside, not Killer Instinct.
Oh, my bad. Chucky tags with too many people.
Chucky does tag with too many people. But yes, Evil Inside. That was throwing me off. So yeah, super excited for that one. Got to get that 3P going at ICW. Two tag teams. Even though it's not Killer Instinct, we are still very familiar with Evil Inside and Milwaukee Vice, Marjax, whatever they're calling themselves, this weekend. So super excited for it and hoping I can bring that ICW gold back home. And then Saturday and Sunday, we are at the Midwest Gaming Expo for Brew City Wrestling.
Yes, sir. It's a bittersweet. It's a Mania weekend. Typically, the last few years we've been making our way out to the wherever Mania is at, but this year just wasn't going to work out for us. So yeah, we'll be at the gaming classics with Brew City Wrestling. They'll have two shows on both days, a noon show and a 3 p.m. show. Come check it out. It's going to be some wild wrestling. We'll be there with the tag strap, so I'm assuming we might have some title defenses. So gotta gear up for that.
Yep, looking forward to it. Perch, what do you have this weekend?
Yeah, this is gonna be a very, very fun week. It is WrestleMania week, which means it is the collective week. GCW Collective is in Los Angeles this year, and I'll be at the Ukrainian Cultural Center for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be awesome. Fight TV now has the $7.99 a month pass, so all the
Oh,
shows.
wait, it went up $2.
Yeah, I think it did. I didn't know that it was up or down. It must have been down because now it's up. Yep,
I mean, that's
it's
still a good price, but
it's $8.
like I
Yeah,
think
which is
now that brings back uh Wrestle Universe as being the cheapest streaming platform. I think they're 7.
oh, perfect. Well, if there's a weekend to get Fight Plus, it's this week. Especially for all the shows that are going on, 10, 11 shows. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm kicking things off Thursday at 6 o'clock Central for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 9. Going to be an incredible show. Lots of good people on hand for that show. It'll be my first Bloodsport. No ropes, but the ring set up. It's going to be pretty damn cool. Really excited. And then after that show at 10 o'clock Central will be DDT Pro Wrestling. They're coming into town. An absolute honor to work with DDT. Been watching their promotion, getting familiar with a lot of the wrestlers. I'm really excited to be working for some more Japanese professional wrestling. The next day, Friday, kicking things off at 5 o'clock Central for DDT versus GCW, a nice little joint promotion. Again, DDT having their crew there is going to be awesome, and the way they match up with GCW is going to be really fun. And then the next show will be at 10 o'clock on Friday, and that's Joey Janela's Spring Break 7. Those shows are always incredible. They've got a little bit of everything, an actual circus in pro wrestling. You get everything. And the next day, Saturday, Effie's Big Gay Brunch at 1 p.m. Central. That'll be a very fun time. Always an entertaining card. Good storytelling on the show, too. There's always good storytelling. And then later that night at midnight will be Gringo Loco's World on Lucha. The matchups are incredible. I can't wait. Going to be a really fun show. Yeah, the collective all around is going to be a blast. I can't wait for it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into Sunday. Fight TV. Fun weekend.
Hell yeah. Freaking World on Lucha, always good for Wrestling with Unicorns. I don't know if he's there that weekend. I imagine he'll be there that weekend. But yeah, always a good one for some crazy shit.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right. And with that, I think it's about time we start taking it home. So, Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Perch, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I love to Mike B at RIP.
Yep.
Sean P the other week. We still have him in our prayers and thoughts. Mike B as well. In our thoughts and prayers, especially with a lot of fun wrestling shows coming up. We celebrate in their honor. We always have fun with pro wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to Mike B, RIP Mike B. Saw a video that was giving away the gimmick, immediately turned away from it. Nope, he's gonna live forever as Pitts Jug for me. And that yeah, I've said it the last couple of weeks, but for me, please everybody take care of yourselves, get checked out. We love all of you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. Tell other promotions to book us because we want to wrestle and ref in front of you. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.